Maya whispered through my door like she knew me, but she'd been dead for 6 months. Part 2. The deadbolt slid open under my fingers before I could stop it, and the door drifted inward on its own weight. Maya was standing on my porch in the same yellow raincoat we'd buried her in, soaked through like she'd walked here from the cemetery. But the man behind her wasn't a stranger. It was my brother Eli, who'd vanished the night of her funeral and never come home. His mouth was moving in sync with hers, like they were sharing one breath, and his eyes were the wrong color, milky and flat, like something had been poured behind them. Maya tilted her head and said she needed me to come with them, that there was a place between the dogwoods where I'd promised to meet her when we were 12, and she'd been waiting. Eli just kept repeating my name in that low, patient way, the same way he used to coax stray cats out from under the porch. I tried to slam the door, but my arm wouldn't obey, and the porch light flickered like it was breathing along with them. That's when I noticed the mud on her boots wasn't mud. It was the same red clay from the plot her parents bought, the clay I'd watched the gravediggers shovel back into the hole. A wet smell rolled in off her raincoat, sweet and rotten, like lilies left too long in standing water. Behind them, the yard looked wrong, the grass bent flat in a perfect circle around the porch steps, and not a single cricket was singing. Eli took one step forward, and I felt the wood floor go soft beneath my feet, like the whole house was agreeing with him. My dog stood frozen at the end of the hallway, lips pulled back, but no sound came out of him. I grabbed the iron crucifix my grandmother nailed above the doorframe in 1972, the one I'd always laughed at, and I pressed it against Maya's wrist. She didn't scream. She just smiled and said, in my own voice, that I'd already said yes the moment I touched the lock. Then Eli reached past her and put his hand on my chest, cold straight through my shirt, and whispered that the dogwoods had been blooming for me since the day they put her in the ground. Every clock in the house stopped at the same second, and the last thing I remember is Maya stepping over the threshold without ever lifting her feet. I woke up 3 days later in a hospital in a town 200 miles away, with no memory of driving there, and a fresh tattoo on my collarbone of a dogwood tree I'd never asked for. My fingernails were packed with red clay, and the soles of my shoes were caked in it, even though the nurse swore I'd come in barefoot. She said a man matching Eli's description had checked me in, paid in cash, and left a note in my coat pocket that said, "See you at the next bloom." When I peeled the bandage back in the bathroom mirror, the tattoo wasn't a tattoo at all. It was a scar, already old, already healed, already mine. Follow so you don't miss what bloomed.